Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Arm Wrestling Tonight. This is Hollywood McConnelly with the double biceps. It is in the contract a legal requirement. Every single time we appear on camera, we are appearing on camera right this minute. The man to my right, but could be to your left, depending on what side of the screen you're looking at. It is the co-host, the co-founder, the co-breather of air, the co-wearer of clothes in this very room. It is none other than the master of disaster, the king of sting, the Count of Monte Cristo. It is Thunderlips, the ultimate male. It is the Siberian bull. It is your friend and mine. It is the winner of the Dave Stockbridge of the Year Award, the illustrious award held by the illustrious man. That's not it. With the illustrious beard, it is none other than Dave Stockbridge.
Thank you very much, Hollywood McConnelly. It's a very warm introduction as always, and welcome to everybody that's tuning in to Arm Wrestling Tonight. And tonight we have ourselves a very, very special guest. It is the president of the Australian Arm Wrestling Federation. It is the man behind the comeback, behind the sequel to the great movie that has now become the great event Over the Top. Ladies and gentlemen, it is President Phil Rasmussen.
There you go.
Thank you, gentlemen.
And Phil, so look, so the talk of the town, everybody that you talk to on this side of the planet right now is either preparing for or talking about Over the Top 2, which might be Over the Top 3 technically.
Yeah.
Technically speaking, but
Technically,
over the top
is,
2
yeah.
in terms of the event. So tell us first and foremost, well, I guess straight from the top, Over the Top 2 is going to be where, when, how can people get involved? What should they do if they want to be there?
Yeah, so look, the details out of the gates, October 19, Gold Coast, Stark Casino. So it's a Sunday, so it'll be Saturday will be sort of the Devon will be there and the meet and greet and all of that sort of stuff. But it'll be on a Sunday. So really hard to get venue. It's one of the most difficult to get in the country. So it's the main ballroom at the Star, which is it's used for all the sports nights, the AFL awards, etc. So the backstory was we wanted to run Over the Top in 22, and it started off as an idea. You know, I think it was Tom Uglesha and myself just talking one day, and Tom said, "Wouldn't it be great if we recreated the energy from Over the Top, the movie, but did it in the modern context?" And it started from there. We sort of talked about it and thought, and then Tom is very good with building and the production side of things. So he said, "Look, I think I can actually build Over the Top staging, everything, the stuff hanging from the ceiling with the numbers, the octagonal staging." And then we got excited. And as we do as arm wrestlers, you kind of plant that idea and you think, oh, I don't know if we can actually do this, but we're super excited because we've sort of had the dream. And from that point, we just announced it. We said, let's just do the artwork and have the truck and Stallone. And we started watching Over the Top again. We watched that last scene with Bull Hurley and all the 80s vibe. And we were like, okay, this is awesome. We can probably do this. So 22, we started in 21 planning. It got canceled in late 21. COVID was still causing problems. And the basis for it was we need a casino because Over the Top happened in a casino in Vegas. We need a casino location. We need to recreate the same staging, and we need to create a fun event that's main draw tournament that is just everyone. And the big thing was the Over the Top main draw class, which is the open class, which had the truck, right? So that was the one that everyone knows. Anyone can jump in it, and the prize was the biggest ever in arm wrestling history. So that's where it started, and we pulled it off, as you guys know. And Matt, you were there. You remember?
Oh, yeah. I did.
That event, and it was a lot of fun, and everyone, even the people from overseas who came out, we had a lot of guests come out from other countries. They had an absolute blast, and we're like, we need to do this again because I've been asked this question constantly since 22. When are you guys going to do it again? So here we are.
Oh, fantastic! So good. So and it's a really a respectful recreation. It's done with love, and anybody who knows the sport, as soon as you start in a conversation with people, Over the Top's that movie. Like if anybody knows anything, it's like Over the Top is that first cultural point of reference that people come across, and so for you guys to be able to kind of take that theme and make make it real life. Is that a little bit of a dream of yours? Is that something where it was like, hang on, we're actually doing this. We are the guys that are bringing this back to life, or bringing it to actual real life.
Yeah, no, absolutely, Dave. I thought we didn't know how it would turn out. I don't think anyone knew how it would turn out, but I remember walking in 22, the morning that it was being set up, and Tom had been there putting up all the staging. I hadn't seen what he'd done at this point. So Tom had sort of said, Phil, I've been working all night. He'd been working all night, every night during the week, to build the tables in his house. His wife, I'm sure, wanted a divorce by this point because you couldn't move. There was so much stuff. And I walked in that morning, and I remember just the over the top was playing on a giant screen. The music was playing, and you saw all the lighting, the staging, and it looked ridiculous. And I just had this huge smile on my face and went up and gave Tom a hug. And I was like, this actually looked way better than I had imagined in my head. And that's how the day began.
Well, so I'm imagining this is all being stored at Tom's place in between time. So if you do walk into his lounge, his wife is literally living in this set now. That's the
Yeah. No, it's actually been living at my house the last year and a half.
Has it really?
So
yeah.
My entire garage, I haven't been able to park a car in my garage because of the over-the-top staging. And it's so big and heavy that no one's going to steal it, right? So anyone who walks past and goes, I might steal that. No, it's heavy. So we've now moved that staging to Kadir from Arm King is now the custodian of the over-the-top stage segment. So it's sort of doing the rounds. And now we're going to, as we get closer, we're going to recreate the staging ahead of time to just, refurb it, make sure that, yeah, as you can see on the screen, it looks exactly like that. And what you guys didn't see is Tom had actually prepared a center table, which is the same table from the finals of the movie, which has a Perspex top. So if you remember, Stallone and Bull Hurley arm wrestled in the finals over a special table, which was Perspex with 2 cup pads. Tom has created that same table. We just didn't have time to pull it out in 22. So you'll get the full experience.
Wow. So if Devin Larratt wasn't enough of a draw card, the Perspex table certainly is.
Well, I wasn't going to go, but now.
That's it. Devin's really secondary to the Perspex table.
I would imagine. I want to see that on the posters now. So when did planning start for the second event? Was it one of those things that since the first event was done, it was like, okay, let's get this going? Or was there a little bit of time where you kind of thought, let's just see how it plays out? Or how did it go from one event to the next?
Oh, look, there was a lot of talk over the years. We would chat about it amongst the committee, and Tom and I would say, should we do it again? Do we have the time to do it again? And the tricky part is that, we all work full-time jobs. We all have our own businesses outside of arm wrestling. So event management, as you guys would know, it's a full-time job when you run a big event. So over the top is as we realized last time, there's a lot of moving parts to an event of that size. Star Casino have a lot of requirements in terms of running an event under their banner, and it's in their main ballroom. So we sort of came to the decision, I guess, 5 months out. We're like, if we do it, it has to happen now. And we have to align Devon. So there was a lot of back and forth with Devon to see, Devon, Jody, can you and the kids, can you make it on this date? No, East versus West is too close, or it's a week after East versus. So all of the other events they were contracted to, you have to work around that, which makes things really tricky. So then you've got to find the day the Star Casino's got availability. And that ballroom is booked out well in advance for end of year events. So we just happened to get one day that was left. That was the October the 19th. And I just said, you know what, we either book it now and just, pray to the arm wrestling gods that this comes off, lock in Devon, and then the rest just falls in place. And that's exactly what we did.
Fantastic. Great. So your ambition from the get-go was, let's get Devon over. That was really important to you.
Yeah. You need a big name. You need a big personality. John Brzenk would have been awesome. Obviously for the legacy, John Brzenk, he is the over the top story at the end of the day. But John's sort of into that retirement mode now. I don't think, because you want to throw John into the main draw, and the ultimate sort of poetic move would be John goes through and wins the second main draw over the top, just minus the truck.
Didn't he sell the truck anyway?
He did sell the truck. Yeah.
So I thought,
it's doing the round somewhere.
That'd be great if you had the. I wonder who owns that, or if they got it repainted or not. But
I don't
that'd be
know.
kinda cool.
But the truck was, so if I don't know if you guys know the detail of it, but there was multiple classes at over the top. There was the military class. So obviously if you were a service man or woman, you could enter that class. There was the pro class, which had the $10,000 prize. And then there was the truckers division. Now, obviously the truckers division is what over the top the movie focused on, and Stallone won the truckers, did Brzenk. But the open class was where you had $10,000 prize, 5 for second, 3 for third, and you actually got a VCR and a CRT TV, I think, for fourth and fifth. So we thought we'd copy the weight. Yeah, so we copied the weight classes and the prize money down to the T. So everything is exactly as per 1986.
VCR.
I've yet to source one of those. That could be the most expensive thing to get, to be honest.
Yeah. Phil Rasmussen's on Marketplace later on tonight, just trying to do that.
That's right. You've got a VCR for
trying
sale?
to lowball on a VCR. It is a massive undertaking, but it's not the only thing you guys have got going on at the AAF at the moment. So there's nationals that go on around the country in every state, and then of course this is the big event that I guess now has become all roads lead to over the top. How do you balance off making sure all of these events move, the machinations of AAF, your professional life, as well as running a massive event like this? How do you balance all of that?
With limited sleep, Dave. Something's got to. No, you're absolutely right, and I think sometimes this year, at least this last 6 months, we've bitten off more than we can chew, because we sort of over the top by itself is enough to finish out the year. But we have ECHA in 2 weeks' time, and ECHA is a big state event. I mean, we get 100 people competing at the ECHA, which is bigger than some of the national events, to be honest. So ECHA is 2 weeks, and that's kind of just a lot of the New South Wales guys come up, and girls, and Victoria, and that'll be a big event. Followed by, we're going to Bulgaria. I'm taking a team of 8 now to the World Championships. So I've got a running team of Rhett, Sam Burnett, Jacob Tuxworth. I'm taking some real top talent in Australia. We've got Ebony, we've got Tom Uglesha, we've got Charlie. So it's a good team we're bringing across, and we've got to mobilize that. So we've got 6 weeks till we leave. You've got to get the WAF thing sorted out. You've got to register the team, the country, get the Australian team tracksuits done, do all that, get to the World Championships. When I'm there, I'll represent Australia at Congress. I will push for the World Championships on the Gold Coast in the next 2 years, and I will use that as a springboard for the Olympic Games conversation. So the goal is get as much talk and as much focus and as much media on the sport here as the Olympic Games starts to prepare. That I feel is the best chance we have of achieving guest sport status.
Mm-hmm. And for you, because there's a lot of voices that are moving in that direction, and feel like that's the genuine path to making the sport mainstream, is if it becomes an Olympic sport. Is that very much your feeling as well?
Look, that would be the dream, right? I think we'd all, deep. If you look at what it would mean, and I asked Devin this question about 2 weeks ago, what would it mean amongst all the other accolades and achievements that our top arm wrestlers have won? What would an Olympic gold medal mean? And I think they would all agree that to represent your country and win gold medal at the Olympic Games would be the pinnacle. And that they would, Devin said, I would clean up my act. I'll go and do the WAF circuit. I will go and compete, and I will represent Canada if that opportunity is presented. And it's the best way, I think, to legitimize the sport. And, that Olympic pathway, it's obviously it's tested, and not everyone's going to want to compete in it, but it is the way to get it mainstream, is to have that amateur grassroots level component of the sport and get it to that level on the world stage.
Yeah. Well, it worked for BMX, didn't it? No, sorry, Jackie.
I say if breakdancing can get there, we can get there. I mean, come on.
Not a breakdancing.
Yeah, unbelievable.
With all of this going on, you've got a focus on. So you've got you're heading overseas. You're taking the Australian team over for WAF World Championships. You've got ECA. You've got a whole series of events, smaller scale events, you would say, and then you've got this massive event. When amongst all of that, is there any time in your life where you do get away from arm wrestling?
Not really, no.
Even,
you know what?
Even in India.
Even in India, I mean, look, Matt and I arm wrestled with Chetna across a bar table in Mumbai on the street. So, but it's one of those things. I had this chat the other day. Arm wrestling is just such a cool niche, almost quirky thing at times that you almost want to inject it into conversation. And I'm sure you guys have found that in business, Dave, when arm wrestling comes up, it becomes the topical point of the room. You could be in a business meeting. You could be, no one cares. Like everyone's talking about what they do in their lives. You talk about arm wrestling and say, I'm an arm wrestler. Suddenly, everyone has questions for you. Suddenly, people start asking about technique and is it a real sport? And then you have a chance to control the conversation. And honestly, I've brought it up in every circumstance you can imagine. I've brought up arm wrestling, and it's always puts a smile on my face.
Yeah, it's kind of unbelievable. It doesn't matter if I'm at if it's just a work thing, or if I'm at a charity event, or if I was at Parliament House recently. All of a sudden you're gripping people and you're showing okay, look at you.
Yeah, and they go home and they try it against their family.
Yeah, and you just know. Yeah, I've done my little bit. I've done my bit for the sport today. So I mean, this is absolutely huge. You did kind of touch on the prize money. This will be the biggest prize pool, I think, in the Southern Hemisphere for an event in 2025, and amongst the highest prize pools of anything. So maybe just touch on that and how it is that maybe athletes out there, and I've been talking to a few that have said, look, I'm kind of clearing the schedule here. I'm only training. I'm not going to get injured. I'm going for over the top. So how are they going to be able to progress and give themselves a chance of getting this prize money? And what is the prize money that people are competing for?
Yeah, so it is the biggest prize money in the Southern Hemisphere that I'm aware of in terms of arm wrestling events.
No, he's frozen. He's
just on the topic of money.
He's considering if there's another tournament in the Southern Hemisphere that could be having bigger prize money than. Oh, he's back.
You guys, glitch in the matrix. What was that? Yeah. Prize money, pro class. Yeah, 10 grand, 5 grand, 3. So you've got that big prize money for the pro division. But all the weight classes pay out. So all of the weight divisions pay out 500 for first, 250 for second, 100 for third. So whether it's the women's class, whether it's the men's left, right, 70, 80, 90, there's, I think, $12,000 of prize money just for the weight divisions, right? So you could go in there and you could win the left and right 80 kilo class and win $1,000. So there's decent money in the weight classes. Of course, there's the pro class, the big one as well.
And I guess all thanks to sponsors getting involved in this. Who are some of those key sponsors that are making this event possible with you?
Look, I mean, so far I'm lucky. It's kind of all my friends, friends from school and through life that they've come on this journey with me since I started it, and they've always believed in what we've done. And so Alpha Digital, who's one of my very close mates who actually lives with me, he runs Alpha Digital. He's a platinum sponsor.
So he would have been made homeless if he didn't sponsor.
Devin.
I see.
That's right. There was some tough conversations behind the scenes of that. So Alpha and my other mates at Homefront, which is a veteran services company, who I went to school with those guys. Same thing. They've sponsored arm wrestling the last couple of years at nationals, and just not big, just enough to kind of keep us moving forward as a sport, so that we can pay for great looking events. People don't realize how expensive a great looking event costs. I mean, you guys would know a venue like the Star is not cheap. And then you've got AV, you've got the production cost, you've got the flights of athletes. Suddenly you're paying some serious dollars. So we're just lucky so far that I can get sponsors who've always kind of watched and believed in the sport to sort of say, I want to be there because it'll be a heap of fun, and I want to see the sport succeed.
So good, and don't want to be homeless. So like, I guess when you got those three factors there, it's good. So we got
it's pretty motivating.
The team Uzbekistan, when they came last time, I think it was a surprise for everyone because they all wore matching tracksuits, and it was like, oh god, who are these guys? And it's like, oh, they're from Uzbekistan. It's like, oh, we're screwed. But they presented you. This was one of the best moments of the day for me. Was they presented you with like a handmade rug, and
I have that.
It was rolled up.
Yes, hang on. I have the tapestry in question. So these guys, I don't know what to do with this, by the way. What do you do? I don't know if you've seen this, Dave, but I was presented by the Uzbekistan team with a tapestry.
Wow,
it's amazing! I can't believe they did it. Oh, it's incredible.
This was made in Uzbekistan by someone, because you can tell it's handmade. And they gave me this rug, and the whole team gave it to me as a sign of respect, and I was speechless. I've never received something like that before, and probably never will. And then they presented Tom and myself with a ring that was, I've got that on now. This ring was, again, handmade in Uzbekistan. It's a custom arm wrestling ring with a little gold set of arms on it.
Incredible.
That says... And Tom and I got given these sort of matching rings, which to me, I wear this everywhere. It's just the most special thing for me to have this ring. But the rug, I don't know what to do with. I'm like, I'm not going to hang it in my house. I look like a complete...
What did your wife think of it?
Complete narcissist. She'd probably say, lay it out in the hallway so we can walk across as we walk in the house. But the respect you get from the other countries, it's so special. And I think I've realized that in arm wrestling and going to India and meeting the team over in India, and the respect you get, and the just for what you've done for the sport, I think, and for the opportunities that you create for them. So the Uzbekistan team got to come to Australia. Most of them had never been. They got to see the beautiful country that we get to take for granted and compete in a major tournament. And they were so grateful for that. And that to me is a big part of why we do this sport is those connections that we make and those experiences we have.
Are you unable to go to Uzbekistan now yourself without taking an equally significant handmade gift? Is this one of the reasons?
That's my worry. I'm like, where do you go from there?
You better start your knitting skills.
Pass up the invitations until you've worked out a craft or something that you can. And I guess the follow-on question, of course, is: do you and Tom ever just do the Shazam thing when you see each other with your matching rings?
Yeah, that's right. Well, we get together, the superpower that combines
Captain Arm.
So, Matt, should we go to the comments? Are there comments there to go to? There we go.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we've got a whole bunch of people. Josh Barker has jumped in to say hello, and he said that he's hasn't trained in 4 months. He's been doing fighting again. That French is also here. French McGee is Siren, the singing arm wrestler. She says, good evening. She also really likes the rug. She says, wow, that rug is amazing. There we go.
You might be sent the rug. Just watch out. Yeah, that's right. To hang it up in the club rooms as our new AAF representative here in South Australia. Maybe you can get that like copied and sent out to all of the AAF branches around the country, and they'll be forced to hang it in their respective club rooms. Maybe just a version of it. Maybe just an idea.
Looking down over the training tables.
Tremendous.
Oh, and hello to French, by the way. French, as you guys know, has come on board as our South Australian rep, and she has been fantastic. So we're really, really happy to have French in the fight.
She's a wonderful ambassador for the sport.
Absolutely. Yes, for sure. Ashley Hoyter is here as well. She says, what a trio. Hope everyone is well. Great to see you, Ashley. Obviously, New Zealand's strongest woman, and
maybe the strongest woman on the planet.
She will be it over the top.
She'll be there too.
Ashley's book. Ashley, I think, is
Oh,
coming.
She is.
there we go. Tremendous. Josh McDonald has jumped in. He says there's a little comp on in Sydney this Sunday. Australia's strongest arm 3. And he says that the Beast will be there. So Matawarangi must be
I've seen
making the
some
trip
little
over.
promo videos of that where Matarangi's been there hanging out with the guys. So yeah, wish them all the very best. It's great to see something going on over there. Be interested to see who's going.
Yeah, for sure. Josh Marcus says, how much are the tickets for the event?
Depends if your name's Josh Barker. So the price goes up automatically.
Josh, is this for the kebab shop event or is this over the top? Which event are you talking about?
I think he's going to fight the next day, so he's probably going to be there anyway. Are tickets available, or is it?
We'll put tickets up very soon. So I've just got to finalize, because the open class makes it a bit complicated to register, because we do have a cap on the number of people that can go in the open division, because of the way the ranking system is written, right? So the double elimination format system we have will be capped. So we don't want everyone jumping in, but it'll be, it can hold 64 people in single class. So you sort of want it to be a throwdown of the best people for the job, because you're going to have the best there on the day. So we'll try and sell it so that you buy the tickets to the arm you want to compete on, but you have the opportunity of going in the open class as well. And I think most people who are serious about the open class won't go into the weight divisions. You'd be unnecessary miles on your arm.
Was that your gentle way of letting Matt and I know that we shouldn't maybe enter the open class?
I got put in the open class last time, and I didn't even.
You guys go where you want.
I didn't sign up to the open class, but somehow I was entered into it. And when they were reading out the names of the people, the open class, here we go, competitor list, and then I heard Matt Connolly, and I'm like, I'm not in this, but I was, and I got destroyed twice in a row. So that was fun.
Who beat you?
So a New Zealand guy and Greg Yeo from Singapore.
Oh, Greg from Singapore. Yeah, he's good.
Absolutely. He lifted me right back like this first, and then went sideways, and I was like, no. So yeah, he's very, very skilled young man. Grant Law does ask, will the bar at Over the Top be selling pints of motor oil?
Good question. I like it. Extra credit there, Grant, for your over the top knowledge. Yep. Edible cigars and motor oil. That'll be one of the side effects.
And a toothpick. Throttle Villain is here. He says, good evening, lads. Good to see you in here as well. And Lad Russo.
Simon, my friend, hello.
Lad Russo is in here. We are streaming to multiple different channels, that's why, but I do bring up everyone's comments so that you can see them. So if they're from Facebook or YouTube, you can see them on the screen. That is the comments so far.
Wonderful. Well, that brings us very neatly to the last few minutes of our podcast here this evening. So, President Phil, before we go away, any final thoughts from you with respect to the event, or what people should do, or people to thank, and those people, the volunteers that get involved and get behind you to make this event possible?
Yeah, look, I mean, a very big thank you to my team, the AEF committee. As we spoke about before, there's a lot of moving parts to running all these events. And, between the referees, we've got a lot of referees at Over the Top. There's 4 tables. So you need obviously 8 active, and then your standby referees. So refereeing alone is a big ask. And, we have Tom, who's our head referee. He's doing a fantastic job of that, organizing all the referee teams per table. So they have team. I remember last time we had Team Celine, Team Oz, Team Tom, and you'd go on your team, and that would be your referee team for the day. So they do a really good job, those guys, of keeping themselves motivated in what is a very long day to be standing there refereeing and having to deal with competitors who aren't always happy. So the committee, Oz, Jacob Johnson's on the committee now as our general secretary. He is the master of setting up clubs. Jacob has set up a new one in Brisbane, the Arm Wrestling Lab, and it is fantastic. He's already creating a super club out of it. So Jake has been a big help to me. Oz is the vice president of the AF, and Oz, as you guys know, he runs the Spartans. the biggest, I'd argue, the biggest club in the country, and Oz is fantastic. He's always there, making sure we're accountable for everything for these events, and our ranking system. The understated ranking system of Australia, which Juan Beckett built. And for those who don't know, every match ever recorded in Australia for our events has gone into the system. And Juan is a mathematician who works at the Bureau of Meteorology. And Juan has spent all his spare time writing this incredible system that was used in Canada by Devon, the Canadian Federation, New Zealand. It's really slick what he's done, and we've got some big updates coming for that as well. So we're just very lucky to have a team of state representatives, Franch, Luke, Hayden down in Victoria, who just do this in their spare time. And we all have the same dream and the same vision. And some of the people on the committee have done this for 10 years. 10 years as a volunteer. It's a long time. So I'm just super grateful to have such a great team that's driving this sport.
Well done to you. Well done to all of you who do such a fantastic sport. I think it's such spectacular work for the sport. Great ambassadors for the sport there, and it takes a lot of energy and it's a lot of thankless nights of hard work in order to get these things to happen. So well done to you all for doing such a fantastic job. So if you are out there and you are watching this podcast and you do want to support Australian arm wrestling, there's a very easy thing for you to do. 1, go to your local club. 2, make sure that you jump in on an AAF event and give yourself every chance of walking away with a trophy. And number 3, get yourself those tickets to Over the Top as soon as they become available. The poster is right there. Devon Larratt is there on the Saturday. I'm sure he's hanging around on the Sunday as well. But on the Sunday, you'll be able to get you'll get your chance to win thousands of dollars in prize money. All you got to do, of course, is win. And if you think you've got what it takes, then Over the Top is where you need to be. Very, very soon. It's coming up. The date again is October the 17th, is it? 19th, October the 19th. Over the Top in Queensland. So make sure that start booking your tickets now. Book your accommodation now, because it's a big event, and if you want to get nice and close to the casino, you're going to have to plan ahead today and make sure that you're getting your tickets organised and getting your flights all done. And if you're coming from overseas, what a great way to experience the country. Get on the table with some of the best. Meet Devon Larratt, and of course Phil, the man on screen right now, and really take in some of the Australian arm wrestling culture. So thank you very much, Phil, for joining us here on the podcast. Really appreciate everything you do for the sport, and can't wait for Over the Top on the 19th of October.
No, thank you, gentlemen. I really appreciate the support and the shout out, and I hope to see you guys up there.
Fantastic. Well, and Matt really likes losing, so he'll be up there for you.
I've got to keep my losing streak alive in Australia. I'm 0-14 at the moment.
We'll start you off against Auden Larratt first round.
Perfect.
Maybe
$50 let me win. Thanks a lot, Phil.
Thank you very much. And thank you to everybody for tuning in.
Thank you guys
for the comments, and we'll look forward to bringing you more arm wrestling tonight, some other night.